Over the Ditch, here live from Ashburton. Well, when I say live, we don't edit it. Matt Markham, hi mate.
Hello mate, how are we?
Very, very well. It's a beautiful day. It's, 12:40 on a Thursday afternoon. Everyone tells me the weather's no good here in Canterbury, in mid-Canterbury, or wherever we are now. It is outstanding weather.
You got to come to the best part of New Zealand to get the good weather, and you're right, it is. It's an absolute cracker.
Little thing, I've come to Ashburton 3 times now. Thought just another quaint little village you go past. It's a ripping town.
It is. It's a busy town. We were a population of about 36 across the district. So Ashburton being the central part of mid-Canterbury, and then you've got Meffin's the next biggest one, which is about 3,000 people, about 5,500 people during winter when the mountains open. So it's a busy little place, and it's growing. It's growing. Big agricultural area, and used to be one of the beating hearts of harness racing in this country.
Well, I think it's sort of, I might be wrong, but it might be starting to do a little bit of resurgence too. So there's some great stories that come out of American Meat just across the road. Outstanding. And a great story for the locals.
Kingsdown Adam.
Yes.
And of course we're Ricky May as well.
We've always got to turn our phones off. Mine's going, and now yours is going as well.
And Johnny getting that one home at 75-1, of course the home of Ricky May, but we've got some great horsemen here. The O'Reilly family, John Hay, one of New Zealand's most respected horsemen.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got quite a few horses. Go back to Ricky May. What a drive beach ball. What a run beach ball, but what a drive. I mean, it was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was. He summed it up beautifully, Rick, and you kind of expect that because of his 3,200 metre record, particularly in that race. He doesn't make mistakes in the Cup, and he's given that horse every possible to finish as close as it could, and it's delivered for him. And 12 months' time.
Tempo is what he drove, wasn't it? He drove Tempo. A few others probably a little bit carried away with themselves, but that happens. Yeah,
and he probably summed up the situation unfolding in front of him, with that horse getting trapped 3 wide early, and, when Cam got going with Swayze and that, and he knew Purdy was going to go at some point with a cooter, and Ricky said, well, there's no point in sitting back, we might as well get round there first, and I'm at least going to get a nice trip behind him, and that's what unfolded, so, yeah.
Let's go back to Swayze for a sec. The Australians, we're probably remiss of us, huge effort, controlled the race. Cam Hart, he is, like for the Kiwis that may not know, he's a 24-year-old, he is a bloke to follow, especially like he's going to start touring, he'll end up in America, I've got no doubt about that at some point in time. He's just a man to follow. If you want to know what to back in a race at Wagga, Bathurst, Tamworth, if you see Hart, have $5 each way, you won't go wrong.
I was trying to explain it to someone who doesn't really follow racing when they were asking me about Cam, and I kind of described it as Dexter Dunnish in a way. He's got a natural affinity with horses, but he's also a very tactically clever horseman in the way that he approaches races, and you can tell, even if it is at Wagga or it's Menangle or wherever, that he puts a lot of thought into each drive that he's having, and gives every horse a run on its merits, and that was a peach of a drive for him. But you go back through all of his drives on Tuesday, didn't matter whether it was the trot early on with Muscle Bank, he gave them every chance to win the race, and unfortunately he was only able to get the one with Swayze, but he went close a number of times too.
He was like a school kid. Almost got the chockies for Mark Purdon. He was just wrapped when Mark Purdon asked him to drive horses, and that's the thing. Like, he's still got that raw, I suppose, youthfulness about himself.
Yeah, I remember doing a story with Dexter the first time Mark Purdon rang him to drive a horse, and it was the same thing, Very excited to be asked to drive one for the Master, and, probably just goes to show that we might see a lot more of Cam Hart driving for the All-Stars in the future, particularly as they, send more and more horses over to Aussie. I know they use Greg Sugars and the like as well, but, you can't drive them all, so there's options there for the future.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, I'm hearing, and we're going to get Cam Bray on in a sec because of stuff going on with NZB, but they also have NZ Air Freight, that there will be a direct flight from, I believe, Melbourne. Cam might be able to confirm that in a sec, to Christchurch, which will be pretty exciting, and hopefully for Grand Prix week that's up and going by then. I don't know the official times, but if not, it's this what Over the Ditch is trying to do, make this Southern Hemisphere better, not Australia versus New Zealand and North versus South and then every other state. We've got to grow our product together because we are getting smaller.
Yeah, we are.
We need to be able to embrace it. So
we've talked about it quite a lot, obviously, but I really feel that you know, with Entain coming on board in New Zealand, we're seeing some big movements in the thoroughbred industry and money being pumped in to try and entice Aussie gallopers over to New Zealand. We can't be that far away from seeing the same thing in the harness too, you know, where there are more incentives and travel incentives, but not just one way, both ways. I think it needs to be.
That's exactly, and then the punt. Yeah. So then it does go to the punt, and you forget, like, and it's probably I get a little bit slack on it from time to time over the ditches to say both sides of the ditch. Mark Purdon had a great team of horses. Sherlock and those horses were flying in Victoria. Yeah, like, and going across there, High Step, won the Redwood, one of the time-honoured races. So we do have it, and we just got to be able to get it better and better. It'd be awesome.
I think it can be bigger. You know, we quite often see, you know, your major carnivals. You will quite often see a bit of Kiwi flavour there, whether it's a horse sent over or it's, you know, Mark campaigning when we've seen Barry Purdon and Scott Phelan send them over in the past as well. So hopefully it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because that was just a really cool wee aspect to Tuesday in that Cup.
Yep.
And I know we don't want it to be Australia v New Zealand, but that little bit of banter. Yeah. And that little bit of, you know, the Kiwi Aussie sporting mentality against each other, I really enjoy that. It just adds another aspect to it.
But you're not on your own.
No.
I mean, I'm the same. Like, I'm an Aussie. I'm outnumbered, you know, everywhere I go. Yet we won the New Zealand Cup. No one picks on the Aussies anymore. I've had a couple of quiet days. It's odd.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. Show
day. You've already just gave mention there that it looks like Swayze's going to be scratched out of the New Zealand Cup, the free for all, which is probably a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not confirmed, and obviously we're filming this at lunchtime on Thursday, and he's still on the market at this stage. But just the weight of money that's come for Akuta, and the TAB have obviously frozen the market just while they wait to find out what's going on. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, 3:55, and he's done it hard on Tuesday. You know, it's a big ask. They're going to go probably close to New Zealand record time in that free for all. They generally do. Makes the race Akuta's to lose, probably, given he's drawn the pole, but there's a nice mare in there, Paul, that we've talked about, and if she can track the speed, I know she's quick enough to make a bit of a play for it. Hardy's Express.
One on the second line?
No, well, she's to the second line, and actually comes in, and she now follows out Beach Ball, because I believe Pembroke Playboy's come out of the race, so it's actually going to map very nicely for her, Hardy's Express.
I don't have any computers. I don't look as smart as what I used to, so I have everything in front of me, and I can cheat. I can't cheat like that now. Yeah, that does change that race a lot then.
Yeah, it does.
He was good, Pembroke Playboy too, the other day.
Like he was, much more improved.
Yeah.
I would have loved the Swayze, and hopefully we still get it. I mean, hopefully the word floating around here at Ashburton today is wrong, but Swayze, Akuta coming out of the gate together, cut it loose. That'll be fantastic.
Emily was here before. She was so excited. She said, what a promoter's dream. You know, that was yesterday at the Thoroughbreds, and then today, well, obviously, it's just tempered that little bit, but that happens.
Yeah.
Dominion Handicap, one, got some great trotters in it, superstars in it. What a field, though. 18. Like, that's the exciting part, a full field of trotters going around on Dominion Handicap Day.
I think I said to you about 3 weeks, maybe a month ago, that I was a bit worried that we weren't going to have a full field, but here we go, and we've got them all. And what's exciting for me, and we saw it on Tuesday, was some of the horses that probably hadn't been performing over the last month sort of put their hand up. Yep. And I talk of Love in the Port, Resolve of Paul Nians, Out of My Way of Paul Nians. You know, they all found a bit of form. So it just adds another little aspect that they're on the upward trend. Obviously, they're going to have to be on a massive upward trend if you're taking on Muscle Mountain and Bolt for Brilliance and co. But set to be a massive addition of the race. And to me, I just want to see Muscle Mountain win it, because he was so Herculean 12 months ago behind Sunday Sun.
One of the great races.
Yeah, one of the greatest races you'll see. I think he deserves to win a Dominion at Addington, at home, in front of the home crowd, and what a fitting way, again, to carry on this legacy of Ian Dobson, who's given so much to the industry.
And the family have been at the races too, which is great to see.
Yeah, and they had a winner on Tuesday, obviously, with Don't Stop Dreaming, not quite with Akuta, but they may get their revenge for that on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. You say about Out of My Way, great to see him win. Good to have a chat with Paul. I had a good chat with Paul about it, and he was quite open about what was going on. I'll say he's a different cat. He's terrific to talk to, though. Like, he's not as different a cat as what people make out. He has his beliefs, he sticks by them, and he's really cool that way.
Yeah, and he's unwavering from that, you know. Yeah. For years, he used to travel horses up to Auckland and sleep in a little gear shed at the track, you know, until they took it away from him.
That was the way he did it.
Yeah, and he'd have his horses out in the middle of Alexandra Park, but he's never been afraid to do something unconventional, Paul, and, you know, we've seen it with Out of My Way this year. He's been pacing for cross sake.
That's to get him fit. Like, I asked him, and at the end of the day, it's to get him fit.
And he always said that when he reverts back to trotting after a pacing race, he always trots a bit better.
He trotted good the other day.
And he did. He trotted good. And he will cop a 2 mile, because he just goes one speed the whole way.
Yep.
So Could he win it? Maybe not, the way Muscle Mountain and Bolt are, but he's going to be in it for a long way.
Yeah. Highlight for Friday, is there a standout for you at the minute? Have you had a good look at them?
Yeah, I've been through a lot. I think Coastal Babe at $2 is a pretty good shopping. Yeah. She's an exceptional filly. The filly that's probably going to follow her, our Shangri-La. Yep. I believe Cam Hart's driving her for Steve Dolan. Yep. She's a really nice filly. But the Dominion and the free-for-all for me, but I love Show Day as a punting day.
Yeah, it's more of a pure day.
Yeah.
There's not as many markets.
It's a racing purist day. Yeah, you can go and sit there and enjoy it.
Stevie Dolan, he's been in some fine form early in the week too, so yeah, he'll be probably on his best behaviour by Friday.
Yeah, and he's obviously been having a little bit of luck lately with the good mare over on your side of the Tasman, Amore Vita, that's the one. And always got to respect Steve's colours when they step out, because they're ready to win. He's got a couple in here today that I don't think will go too far away from winning. So, I just thought it mapped through beautifully, because it's going to follow Coastal Babe all the way, and I know how happy, and I know you do, how happy Stephen Reid is with her.
Oh, yeah, so glowing of her. He just loves her and all this. And I'll tell you now, scary thought, if you look at that video I did with him, her backside, that high. There's that much improvement in that filly. I reckon this time next year, look out.
Yeah, she's doing it all on natural ability, but she's clearly the benchmark at the moment, and it's going to take something exceptional for her to be beaten tomorrow, given that she's drawn barrier 2 and just drawn to lead and dominate.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Anything else for the week? Like, this is a condensed version, if you like. We might get a couple other guests. We'll just see who's around. But anything else for the week to highlight for Over the Ditch?
I really think that if you didn't catch it, that run of Chase a Dream on Tuesday, you've got to go back and have a look at that. That horse had no right to win at the 100-metre mark, let alone the 400-metre mark, between his performance and we again saw something special from who I believe could be the best female pacing talent in Australasia, and Millwood Nike. She was just out of this world.
Sad there's so many highlights, and I actually forgot about it, and that was breathtaking. And what a race that was. Go back to that race. On the home turn, like going around that home turn, 3 quality mares, 1, 2, 3, and then she runs away from them. But it was just, I watched that and I was like, this is a race, and it was.
Yeah, and you kind of expect that on Cup Day. You expect things to be competitive. You expect, that really breakneck racing style, and Tim Williams did everything he could with Artie by the Seaside to try and win that race, but he's ultimately been beaten by 2 very, very good fillies, and we shouldn't underplay the effort of Mantra Blue having just her 5th start. In any other year we'd be talking about what an exceptional filly she is, but she's just run into a freak.
Yep. Yeah, and then just keeps rolling on. And I do think that's the one thing about it. The quality of horses in New Zealand now, people need to sit up and have a good look. The 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, the depth in the trotters. A person said to me the other day about the free-for-allers, there's not that much depth in them. These people didn't know about horses like Beach Ball, American Me, Mossdale Ben. Hopes were stoked in him, albeit unfortunately he got relegated one spot. Actually, Cran's horse was an exception for galloping away. Yeah, great drive, Blair Orange too.
There is a bit of depth there. I've got no doubt about it. And, we've got that next wave coming through for those free-for-all races, say, next year. You look at horses like Don't Stop Dreaming, Merlin, the Who's Delights, the Triple G's, Ahoka Connor, who we get to see tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. So we are in a good place. There's depth there, which is really exciting, because you're right, at times there's been one dominant figure and the rest have sort of been a little bit lacklustre behind. But you take Millwood Nike out and then you've got Mantra Blue and Artie by the Seaside there, you still got quality, And
hopefully they all stay sound, they all come back, and next year we're in for a lot of good things. Cam Bray, he's going to come over and join us. You jump in the middle, Cam. Nah, mate, it'll be right. Rose between 2 thorns. Don't worry about us. We don't worry too much. NZB. Firstly, have you enjoyed the carnival, mate?
It's been pretty good so far, isn't it? It's a big week, but weather's been good. The punting's been challenging for most, I think. So at the end of the day, from an industry perspective, it's been a win.
Thought he was going to end up with no clothes on. He said every time he had a losing bet, he had to take some clothing on. Thank God he overdressed to start the day off.
Just as well I didn't start that thing. I would have been down to me jocks in no time.
It is a big carnival. It's a big time for all participants, and even the breeders starting to get out and about. I've seen the prices, quite a few of them. They had the Breeders' Awards. Yearling sales has gone live today. It is a very important time of year, because it then rolls on to an exciting time of year for the NZB and also all the breeders and the fundamentals about New Zealand breeding.
Well, and one of the big things to take into consideration now is the catalogue is online now, obviously. But you look between this week and when we sell, there's be updates galore through all those pedigrees too. So it's a big time for age group racing over the next sort of 4 or 6 months, and it also leads into the sales. So the change of season has been great for the industry as far as, you know, horses being bigger, better and stronger, but it's also played right into the hands of the sales, because now you have this outstanding lead into a sale, because you have all this group racing, all these updates, all these good horses coming out, age group stars, and for some people they might have that lucky star.
Yeah. You get that, I've got a little hidden gem too, you know, like I've got a half brother to that one or whatever it is. You really got to turn these phones off, Matty. Remember this next time, it'll be fine. But yeah, that's what it's about. People do start, it's a what's a word I'm trying to look for, but basically people communicating, getting the message out there over this weekend.
Yeah, you're right, and Cam's touched on it. You know, the updates that are going to come out of this week alone, you know, going through what I'm sure is already a fantastic catalogue. It's going to grow exponentially over the next, you know, month as we lead into Grand Prix Day, and then we've got carnivals up in Auckland and, you know, potential trips to Aussie for some of these horses as well. So bright time. I guess the question I want to ask, Cam, is obviously the Entain deals copped a lot of coverage over here in New Zealand. From an NZB perspective, how excited are you about what they're bringing to the game here?
Well, it's fantastic, because it's sort of almost, not that I'd say it brings like that whole Magic Millions sort of Karaka Millions type feel to it. You know, not we're talking to that scale, but you know, at the end of the day, these people who are investing significant sums of money into yearlings, they want a quick return. As we've seen over the last few years, the syndication and bits and pieces, people want a quicker return, especially now when we are still selling in February. You know, their 2-year-old season doesn't then start till that following January. So we want to try and get some cash in these people's pockets nice and quick, and that creates turn, that creates hype, that creates, you know, confidence for breeding, confidence for the racing sector. So like it is a bit of a game changer, to be fair, and just with the 2-year-old racing, where the Entain have identified that not only is it good for sales, but it's good for wagering. These horses are getting up and about earlier, more wagering product, which derivative actually ends up meaning we end up with more product, more turnover, more funding.
As a person that punts, boys get paid, and like you're an open punter and all the rest, this only 2-year-old racing, and then you're going to have so many horses having first starts, is that good?
Because if you can find one at a bit of value.
Does it make you have to do more homework, you reckon?
No, well, we're really lucky here because so much is covered. You know, you won't have to do any more homework than what you'd normally do, because pretty much all of our trials and workouts are now filmed and available on HRNZ, so you see all these horses before they step out at the races. It's not like it was, say, 10 years ago when I used a guy from here, Lawrence Henron, used to take a nice 2-year-old up to me from workouts 6 weeks in a row. No one else had seen it except the commentator, me, and it'd line up at $5. Now you'd see it line up at $2. You know, it's just that way now, that all that information is readily available for anyone.
The excitement about the sales, we were talking there before about a horse like Coastal Babe's going to step out tomorrow. Super exciting filly. Win, lose or draw, it doesn't even matter if she doesn't win tomorrow, the job that she's done. We're talking to Steve the other day. He said, you know, going to the sales, he was a bit nervous. It was sort of wasn't what he was after. He didn't want to spend a lot of money. It's what the story's about, though, isn't it? Going to the sales and being able to try and find that gem. I think she's exceeded what he was expecting to buy, but that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh, definitely it is, and it just shows you the story of they come from anywhere. You know, probably the standardbred catalogue over the years has got very, very elite. You know, when you look at, you get their physical catalogue, go online, you start flicking through and see all the black type horses and the black type, you know, group status stuff come through. It is very, very good. It's a very, very competitive market. But again, it does show you can go and you don't have to spend 100 or 200 or now 300. You can still spend 30 or 40,000. You get yourself one of the best fillies of her age.
What are some of the highlights in the sales?
Or
I don't want to throw you under the bus, but is there a couple of, like, you know, obvious choices?
Oh, we've got some very closely related horses to, like, Princess Tiffany. First foal out of Princess Tiffany, I should say. We've got a full, I think, to Amazing Dream, to name a few. I can keep going.
How's your bank balance going, Matty?
Yeah,
I'm just counting numbers in my head
we're
trying to figure out.
For riches, we've got closely related horses to Love Me Too. You know, it goes on and on and on.
And the one thing we will say, the dominance of the New Zealand stock, if you like, in the southern hemisphere, and actually even the northern hemisphere, really, when you think about it, the way these mares do go on over in America, but in Australia, very rarely. What did you say the other day, 2 weeks ago? This is a funny one. 2 weeks ago in Menangle, every winner had this little thing next to their name, NZ. And then there was 100% of the winners were all NZ bred.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, and just for argument's sake, even since NZB, this is coming up, our oldest crop is 5. So BD Joe, his age group is the earliest crop. So since then, we've now produced, this catalogue's produced 54 Group 1 winners and 129 stakes winners.
Wow.
So, the stock is there, they do perform, and to be fair, you look into Australia, look at all those fields, there's a lot of them that don't ever come through a sale ring, but it just shows you the testament to the breed here in New Zealand, the way they're raised, I think is a massive part of it, and that early work that's done here in New Zealand.
Absolutely. Anyone wants to get in touch with you? Anyone from overseas, Australia, America, if they watch? I do have some Americans watch it. What's the best way to get in touch with the guys at NZB?
Oh, you can go through the website, Paul. For anyone in Australia, I'm going to be over at the Breeders' Crown next Saturday night. Yeah, next Saturday night. I'm going to be in Perth the following week. So
Saturday week.
Saturday week. Yeah. Saturday week, and then I'm in Perth the following week. So sing out. The phone's there, numbers are all there, and we're more than happy to help.
Good as gold, mate. Really look forward to it. Do you have a winner here today? You had a winner. You told me you couldn't get beat on Tuesday, but unfortunately didn't even take part in the end.
Well, I don't know whether the boys get paid, but I do know there is a winner in every race.
Very good. He's very good, actually.
Could even potentially be two.
Well, that has happened just recently. I will say, Cam, Ben Hope sounded me out yesterday, and he said it just got better and better. Flick you, Matty, he reckons it's outstanding. Could be the number one show for harness racing. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, he obviously is wanting a spot, is he?
He must be. I think we give him a bit of love, Benny, so he's happy with it.
I wonder how the king of content from the Deep South's feeling about that.
Yeah, well, and actually we've got to give a shout out. We've got to give a shout out. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if that's still flashing red. Hopefully it is. Yeah, it is. That's no good, Harness Racing New South Wales. What you did, you do not pinch content from people that work their backside off. Pretty poor form. You can use it. Credit the guy because he does a great job, and he's an important asset because it's a long way down south, and some of the stuff he gets the hard stuff. Some of the stuff he gets is very random, and that's what we need to promote this industry.
Oh, the more random, the better.
Yeah,
you love that. You love those out of the box stories. And we talked about John Morrison before. He comes back to scale, having trained his first winner on Cup Day, and he's not patting himself on the back. He's patting the trainer that's sitting 20 minutes out of Ashburton at home watching them on TV because he's done most of the work with the horse for him because he was broken down. That's the cool stuff. That recognition for people in the game that are behind the scenes but are doing a good job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Boys, thank you. NZB, make sure you go and get online to the catalogue. Matty, we might call it a day, we might not. We'll just see. We hopefully might be able to find Sarah. I don't know how many drives she got. We might be able to catch her because a pretty good achievement the other day. Young lady, still a junior. Is that
Yeah, she finishes end of December.
Yeah.
She's out into the open ranks, so she's pretty much got a third straight Drivers' Premiership.
Worst part about it, she had a beaming smile, but every time someone put a camera, no one's caught her smiling on the camera. She managed to hide it. She was
we might have to have a personal challenge on who can get the most words out of her.
She did photobombing me, though. No, she photobombed me and Johnny, and I said, I'm going to leave that on, and I did, so there was no worries there, so a bit of fun. Right, I'll let you go. I have been tipped the winner of the first. If N. Williamson wins the first, boys, I'm sorry, but first, Bronson tells me just wins, so hopefully it does, and we'll go from there. But, Matty, thank you. Cambrai, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul. And you're saying about getting the camera in front of people smiling. You do have that effect on people.
That's the best you can come up with.